Hello everyone and welcome to the eighth round, to the recap of the eighth round of the classical chess tournament I am attending here in Amman, Jordan. Today I was playing with the black pieces, and for those of you who were wondering, the round was delayed till today, so that's why there was no recap yesterday. Uh, I was also trying to mentally recover from my loss yesterday, which was brutal. I tried to analyze the game, then I discovered I had a +4 advantage and I threw it all away. So I told myself I'll analyze it later when I am, you know, like in better composure. So in this is the eighth round. I'm playing against 1667 Abdel Wadud Jamil, and he played e4, and you know, ye old trusty Caro-Kann. He played d4, I played d5. He took, played knight f3, knight c6, bishop d3, bishop g4. Up until now, this is my preparation. He played c3, and I hit him with this nice move, queen c7, all my prep. He played h3, bishop h5, bishop to e3, and I played the move e6 here. He played knight b to d2, knight b to d2, and this is the first critical moment of the game. Because in this position, I played the move f5. Why f5? Because if some of you would recall, uh, when I played against the gentleman Muhammad Jum'a in the fourth round, I think, after he played bishop to e3, I think, I don't remember if he played h3, e6, knight b2 to d2, bishop to d6, and rook c1. I forgot if h3 or not was included, but I played knight f6 in that game. And it was an inaccuracy. The best move, which was minus zero point 0.8, minus zero point 0.7, was f5. And I analyzed the ideas to trap the bishop, etc., etc. I analyzed this, and okay, I was like, okay, I guess I play f5. So in this game, I was like, okay, what's the difference? This rook is not on c1, so why can't I just play f5? And I thought I was a genius. I felt like Hikaru, like super GM preparation, this weird move f5, and turns out he just plays knight b3, or sorry, I think it was g4. And I like turned off the engine after this because I was so pissed off. I'll analyze this later. And white has a 1.3 advantage. How? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand what the difference is with the rook on c1. No clue. No clue really. But I played f5 thinking I was a genius, and he played knight b3. And I was super happy. I was like, man, look at the prep. I'm like a genius. And I think the position here is minus zero point 0.3 if I recall correctly. I played knight f6. He played bishop e2. He wanted to trade. I thought this was a waste of time. Apparently, I know nothing about chess, but it's fine. And I played the move bishop to d6 here, forming this battery. This is all standard stuff. He played knight g5, and I calculated takes, here, here, and rook takes. And it's like I'm just up a piece. And I also saw, sorry, I also saw queen e7 here, which we discussed after the game. He has knight g7, queen g7, queen e2, but bishop d1 just wins. So, yeah. So that's why after bishop e2, we just played queen e2, and I played queen d7. I spent a long time here calculating, deciding between queen e7, queen d7. I probably shouldn't have. It's probably just not the best utilization of my time. But recently I've grown to realize that the problem with my time management is that I try to play the best move, and I only play the move only when I am convinced it is the best move on the board, and that's not how you should play chess. You need to weigh the pros and cons of how much time you should allocate. And here it's not really critical to decide queen d7, queen e7. I decided queen to d7, and I had this creative idea that involved uh, playing knight d8, but I forgot where it started. I think it was the move. Like there was some line. I played the move knight d8 to avoid some trade. Am I an idiot that I want to play this? Anyways, it doesn't matter. I played queen d7 here. I like that. I like that this b5 check was covered, and I had ideas of playing knight d8, and he has no check. And I forgot the line. Anyways, I just played. He played knight c5, which apparently is just a massive inaccuracy after e5. I think it's minus 1.9, 1.2, 1.8. Uh, I castled here. And after take takes, I know I thought I was better here. I just didn't think I was minus two better. Because I was like, he has no E and D pawn. And I have E, D, and this F pawn in the center. I was like, I have a massive center. This center is done. And I didn't think his bishop advantage really meant anything here. And I was correct. Apparently, I had to play E5, which I considered. I honestly thought my center was delicate here. I thought with rook d1, c4, and f4 maybe, but yeah, he can't really do much here. Yeah, I guess I should play the other analyze that later, but I castled here. I considered many moves here. I considered queen e7, I considered long castles, I considered short castles, I considered h6. I considered h6 and then knight e4. I considered knight e4 right away. I considered knight a5. But I thought just castling here made a lot of sense. I thought if of long castles he has b4, and I was like, why? Just why am I allowing this? There's no reason to allow this. I was like, he's going to play b5, and why am I doing this? So I just castled short, and he castled, and here I spent so much time. I was calculating e5, I played h6, and I wanted to play e5, I didn't. I played knight a5, and I fell in love with this idea of, like, let's say king b1, e4, knight e5, knight d4, knight e5. I fell in love with this idea of playing e5, e4, and putting my knight on d3. I rejected this because I thought he could play c4, and I thought I couldn't play d4 here because he just takes. Yeah, I calculated a nice line here. Yeah, with knight takes e5. Knight takes e5, bishop takes e5. I calculated this. I was like, I'm just losing two pieces. Just losing a piece. And now that I look at it, yeah, I stopped my calculation here because I thought he just takes and takes. But now that I look at it, I'm actually dumb because I can just play rook a8. Just takes. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I can't. I think I think this is correct. But I rejected e5. And c4 I didn't know what to do. So I played h6, knight f3, and knight a5, which I realized was an inaccuracy, I think. I think, I think I should have probably played knight a5 here. I thought he would move his bishop somewhere, like maybe to f4, like targeting this. I can just play the... I forgot why, like, I played h6 and I felt like h6 is inaccurate. I shouldn't, I should have I played, I thought h6 was inaccurate when I rejected e5. So yeah, I just played knight a5 here with the idea of knight c4. I calculated this line with, let's say, king b1. I calculated knight c4, queen c4, d c4, rook d7, knight d7. Always look out for this tactic. Just like a heads up. Okay, I'm just up a rook in that position, so he can't do this. And then he played knight e5, and I played queen c7. And on knight a5 and queen c7, I spent a total of, okay, so knight a5 I spent 18 minutes. Wow, 23 minutes on knight, 22 minutes. How much time? What? Yeah, 22 minutes on knight a5. And why can't I do math? 32, about, yeah, so about 40 something minutes on knight a5 and queen c7. And I was calculating this line with queen to a4. And the point is, uh, I mean, look, knight a5, knight e5 targets my queen, queen to a4. I want this pawn. I calculated king to b1. I was going to play queen to e4 check. And the only move is knight to d3. I was going to play f4, and he can resign. I saw f3. I just take. Can't move his bishop. I just take his queen. And I calculated queen a4, b3, queen to e4, same thing. I don't remember exactly what I calculated on knight d3 or knight f3. I just thought, yeah, I think f4 here I calculated, and on knight d3 I was going to figure this out. I calculated queen g2. It's like rook g1 is horrible. I just hang h6. So I didn't know exactly. I don't remember what I calculated. But I think I thought this position was just fine. Yeah, and on queen e4, knight g6. I think I was going to play rook e8 here, maybe. Does f3 trap my queen? Wow. Yeah, let's not worry about knight g6. But that wasn't the reason I rejected queen a4. The reason was I saw f4, and the idea of f4 is that after knight h5, and he cannot take because check, uh, is I rejected it because of rook e5, knight g3. If queen f2, there's knight h1. So yeah, queen f2, knight h1, I hit the queen. I rejected it because of queen d2. With knight h1, my queen is trapped. Oops, and I resign. So that's why I rejected it. Maybe I should have stopped my calculation after knight g6. I didn't see f3, honestly. But admittedly, it's embarrassing to admit, but I calculated f4 here. I know I tried to hide it, but I did calculate. Calculated f4 takes, and I thought I was better here because, yeah, f4 takes and takes. This is what I calculated. I thought I was better here because I won this, but now I see you can just take on f4. So yeah. I also calculated b3, queen e4. He can't move his bishop because I take. I calculated f4, knight h5, rook d4, knight g3, rook takes e4, knight takes e2 check, king d2 or king d1, and I take. It doesn't matter really with which pawn. I didn't think about it. I was like, I'm up on exchange. Uh, but yeah, I rejected it because of the line where my queen gets trapped, and I just played queen c7. And I calculated if bishop f4, I just take the pawn, and if bishop d4, I was going to figure it out. But yeah, crazy. Like I spent all this time calculating and played queen c7 because I didn't think my opponent. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I also saw b4 here. I thought I was just better after b4. Uh, I just thought he can't make this weakness. Uh, so I just played queen c7. He played bishop d4. I played knight e4. And I was getting worried here. I was like, I think I'm just worse. I just think I'm worse. I didn't know. Like I was low on time here. I spent so much time already. I was looking at c4 for him. I didn't know if he should play c4 because the point is, the whole like my point was I didn't want to play e5 because of c4. And like I cannot like no matter what I do, I thought I couldn't allow this. But apparently I'm an idiot now that I look at it. I think this is just fine, but I didn't want him to get into an end game where he trades this pawn. Like I wanted to keep the center for my end game. I didn't want him to fix his structure by trading like this, trading a flank pawn for a center pawn. I have an isolated pawn. I should have probably played e5. Doesn't really matter, knight a5, queen c7, bishop d4. I was low on time here. I was trying to calculate many lines. I played knight e4. I was knight c6, knight c6, bc6 loses to queen e6, and I didn't know if this was particularly good. I felt this pawn was weak, and he could immediately start to attack it, and I didn't know if I was particularly winning in this endgame. Of course, I didn't want to draw at any cost, so I played knight e4, and targeting this pawn and preparing knight c6 ideas with bc6 ideas. And he played h4, which I thought was inaccurate. I was like, what is he doing? Um, I just didn't think h4. I thought h4 was simply too slow. I think he should have considered other options. Uh, I didn't take on c5 here because I thought he had b4, and I spent some time calculating a line with knight e4, g takes, or b takes, knight takes c3, queen c2, knight takes a2. Oops, oops, nope, I lost the analysis. Fantastic. I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. I found the analysis. So yeah, just to recap, b4, I calculated it was this position. He played h4. I calculated knight takes c5, b4, knight e4, b takes a5, knight takes c3. It's a fork. Uh, he plays queen c2, pinning me, so I can't take. And I calculated knight a2, king b2, queen takes, king takes, and probably knight b4. And I ended my calculation here because I don't know what's going on in this position, and I didn't know the 3 pawns were worth the piece. I thought they probably didn't, and now that I look at this endgame, it's probably losing. So I rejected the line again. I'm really low on time here. And I decided to play knight c6, and I wanted a world with takes, and I wanted that after f3 that I have some miracle. Yeah, I calculated queen to f4, check. Like he played knight g6, but I wanted knight c6, bc6, f3. Point is, if knight g3, there's queen e6 check. And I calculated queen to f4 check, uh, bishop to e3, knight to g3, and takes, and I win his bishop. However, I rejected taking with the b pawn in my calculations because after f3, queen f4, he can just play king b1. Which honestly, I'm wild. It's wild. Like, I'm happy I'm seeing this stuff, but I'm also playing inaccurately. Like, I'm not finding the best way to play the position. Like, obviously, if I played like in the game, I was aware of this. Like, obviously, if I played knight a5, knight c6, and I thought I had an advantage from the opening, which I did, and now it looks like it's just gone. So obviously, I was like, I did something wrong. I don't know where exactly. Maybe it was not playing e5 probably. But I played queen c7. Yeah, yada yada. And he played knight g6, targeting my rook. I took on d4. Point is, I wanted to open this up, and yes, I fixed the structure momentarily, but I thought I was just going to play b6, and I didn't know how exactly he planned on defending all these threats. Like, it's difficult to move the queen. He can't move the f pawn because knight j3 is a fork. He can't move his queen too far because knight f2 is a fork. And I have pressure with b6. Here I considered rook f6 and rook e8. I played rook e8. I rejected rook f6 because he has h5, and I thought my rook is dumb here. So I just was, okay, rook e8 is more flexible. And it doesn't give him h5. Now h5 is a waste of time because b6. So he played g3. And I didn't really understand it at all. I didn't understand g3 at all. So I just played b6. I had 9 minutes on the clock here, I think 9 or 8. And I was like, oh yeah, the idea is to play knight f4. And he played b4 here. And warning, I played a garbage move here. I played a5, which is winning, I think. So I just missed knight c3. Just very simple. Like this. The whole point of playing knight e4 is that I was like targeting c3. Like b4 cannot move and this knight is well placed. So it's like I was really mad at myself after I played a5. I saw this and I was like, whatever. I was like, I calmed down pretty quickly because I was like, this position is completely winning. I thought g3 and h4 was too slow here. But he played queen e1. I was like, bro, I'm just going to take. Good luck. This is open. I'm going to take and open this, and knight c3 is coming. Good luck. He took. I could have taken on f2 here. I decided to take. I saw that he could go back. I didn't care. I was like, this is dumb because I just take this, and king b1 is forced. Rook b8 check comes. King here, knight c. Like, you're going to lose. You will lose. You will lose. Queen f6 is checkmate here, by the way. Or wait, no, it isn't. I can just play queen c2 and you can resign. I have a prettier checkmate here now that I see it. I have rook takes a2. It's checkmate. King takes. You just lose. So yeah, he took and I took on f2. We played knight f4, which is a good move. Because for example, if he played something like rook f1, I play queen takes g3. So I just took the rook, played rook c8, and this pawn is falling. You can play knight d3, but I just picked. Hello guys, I got evicted. So now I'm in the kitchen. But it doesn't really matter, so the recap is done basically. I just played rook ac8. I just wanted to trade and I mean I'm just winning. I could have taken on a2, but I was like, why? There's no reason to do this. I just go here and he resigns because we're just going to be up 2 pawns and an exchange. So he played king d2. I took. He has no option but to trade. I think he just gets mated if he doesn't, but maybe he can try something. But no, probably he has to trade. He took played knight d3. Props to my opponent for trying, my opponent was visibly frustrated, and I know how that feels. My opponent was, he played a good game. I think he was probably, like, he found some nice ideas. He had a good position, and like it just all went wrong really fast. Probably the RMB6, so I felt for him. So yeah, he was trying, so I give him props. But I just played rook a5, and He played knight b4, defending the pawn. I played rook a3, which I think is a really nice move. Like, I have to say, like, rook a3 is a nice move, because if I play rook a4, I didn't like king c3, which is fine now that I look at it. I went the pawn, but rook a3 is really precise here, because I cut the king off, and this knight can move because I take and I'm threatening the pawn. So after rook g1, rook b8, this is crushing, and I thought this was a nice conversion of the position, and I wanted, he played knight c2, I took, and I was like, okay, now I just win. Because after rook c1, rook b2, king d3, takes, g5. I'm just up 3 pawns. I'm just up 3 pawns in the king and pawn endgame. He played g5, I played f4, and he resigned. And yeah, I'm glad he didn't play until mate. I just wanted to go home, man. Excuse me. Uh, but yeah, props to my opponent. He found some nice ideas. Knight e5 was a good move. Bishop d4, I misevaluated. I think I didn't. Like, I thought um, wasn't that good. I think h4 is an inaccuracy. I think knight g6 maybe is an inaccuracy. But no, it's probably fine. My opponent's main mistake was just allowing b6. I think maybe like I was waiting for king b1 here, I think. Or just something with g4. I was calculating here some lines for him with g4. I was calculating many lines. Maybe he should have played rook h3 here. I guess there's still b6. But like maybe rook h3, b6, f3, knight f6, and yeah, he can play king b1. I can take, and he can play g4. Yeah, this looks good. Yes, he's down a pawn, but he has, compensation. E6 is weak. He has g4. His knight is active. The complicated position. I have a few minutes. In the opening, I think maybe he played inaccurately, in my opinion. His only opportunity apparently was g4, but after bishop e2, it's minus 0.5, I think, minus 0.4, minus 0.3. And if you're playing white and on move 11, your opponent has a minus 0.6 advantage, you've made a big mistake. Black is only trying to equalize in the opening. How are you letting black just get a better position? I played bishop d6. I thought I critiqued knight c5 from him, which the engine agrees, if I recall correctly. I was like, you can't do this, because just look at the center. I mean, like, okay, I didn't play e5 because I'm not good at chess, but just look at this position. Black has three center. I can't speak. 3 pawns in the center. Black has no problems. Your knight on g5 doesn't really do much. You have double pawns. Black is crushing here. So I think my opponent should, you know, focus more on principles. I think he was wasting too much time in the opening. But after the game, I showed my opponent my calculations. We discussed the game. He was a very nice gentleman. He was like, "Oh, I didn't calculate this far. I didn't see this. I didn't see that. I don't know why. Like, wow, you calculated all that." I was like, "What?" Like, I told him this is like usually when you are 100 or 200 rating points below someone, you see someone you think, wow, like they're so good, or like you see their calculations and you're like, wow, but really, I was like, this is nothing. Like you can just put this on the engine, and maybe tell you everything I said was garbage, and like don't be intimidated by this. Like this is simple. Just do puzzles and you'll be fine. You'll be able to calculate better than me. I was like, don't be intimidated by your opponent. Don't be intimidated by anyone. Don't let anyone be like try to show you that like wow they're so like thoughtful and they calculate deeply. At the end of the day, we're all human, and I'm just not convinced that this is something special like or like super hard to do. I thought that like most of my calculations were based on intuition, like not some creative genius or something. So I was like, no, you can do it, and this is like don't blame yourself. You played a very nice game, and this video has gone on for too long. It doesn't really matter. Like he told me he was an engineering student. I was like you're an engineering student. You're playing really well, and I have all the time in the world to play chess. Like don't put yourself down. So, anyways, I wanted to show you something. This tournament has about 146 players. To get a prize, I would need to be on the top 5. Anas Khuera is currently in top 5. And I'm top 10. And I don't think, unfortunately, I will be making the top 5 even if I win tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's the case. Uh, but tomorrow I'm playing. Well, first of all, I'm up 31.2 rating points, which is great. Unfortunately, I wanted to push for 1900, but even if I win tomorrow, I can't get that. I'll be like some 4 or 5 rating points away, which is tragic, honestly. But I had an amazing tournament. I'm still beating myself up over the NS game. I'm still very disappointed and mad at myself for that game. Uh, like Mansour Samir and Anas Khouira are the two highest rated players in the tournament. Mansour Samir being the highest rated one and Anas Khouira the second one. And I've won every single game. I didn't make a draw. I just won every single game and just lost to those two. So like objectively speaking, I cannot be too down at myself, but it still hurts a lot, honestly. Uh, Tomorrow I'm playing some 1633. Uh, I will play for a win at all costs. I think I will win, and I'll end the tournament 7 out of 9, which is good. But I wanted to beat Anas, honestly, and get paired with higher rated players because, okay, you go out of 7 out of 9 in a tournament, but does it really matter when all the people you've beat are 1700? Like, it doesn't matter really. Uh, so, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry this video has gone on for way too long. Uh, Let me know if you think the analysis is too extensive. Like, do you guys would prefer if I was a little bit more concise in the analysis? If you want like some moves to just get it over with and not show too many calculations, let me know. So thank you guys. Tune in for the final recap tomorrow. Bye bye.